Yo guys, what is going on? Nickname is just Yellow, and today this Norwegian hardcore PC gamer is going to go through a this is gonna be a very shitty tutorial, but it's also gonna be very basic, and if you're able to just practice a lot of these things, the rest will come naturally. You'll probably see other people do them, but I'm basically gonna go through the basics of CSGO and how to start on T-side and generic stuff that you should always try and follow whenever you play T-side on any kind of map in CSGO. Obviously, only diffuse missions. The hostage is a completely different subject that nobody cares about at this moment. So yeah, this video is probably gonna be very useful for people who just are very sloppy at the game, or who are, you know, not doing jack shit and are at the silver ranks, for example. So alright, I'm gonna take for granted that you've looked at a couple of my other videos and you've optimized your game, you have a little bit higher hertz rate by the monitor overclocking and all that kind of crap. So let's take it from there. You just booted up your game, you've configured everything that is important to configure, and everything should be fine. And you spawn here, and all you got is the default money, which is 800 bucks. That's what you initially start with. And you got a Glock, you got a knife, and sometimes a bomb. The goal of the game is to beat your enemy and to see how good you can get. That is at least what I would say. Other than that, it's pure enjoyment. Trying to beat your enemy in the game, it's one hell of a fucking game. Like this game here, it has sub-layers of different game types in itself, I would say. You have a mind game when it comes down to outsmarting high-level opponents. You have the money game, in which it's important to try and make it so that your enemies get more poor and that you get more rich in order to be able to actually buy stuff, which allow you to execute stuff more. But I'm not gonna go all the way that deep into that kind of stuff, okay? This is gonna be a little bit more scratching on the surface. So first you start off, you have 800 bucks. What are the different things that you could do with that money in order to be able to do something? Keep in mind, I'm playing this on Dust here just because it's a basic fucking map. Like, everybody and their mother know this map, so that's why I chose this one the first. Alright, by the way, this map is very, very commonly used for practice, so if you jump into deathmatch or aim servers, this server, this map type in general will help you out a lot, because it have a lot of the lines of sights that is important to practice. Okay, so that out of the way, what can we buy here? Keep in mind, this is an auto-exe mod, so I have infinite money and resources, but I'm only doing that in order to show you people what to do. So at first, you can only buy like one item close to 800 bucks, or a couple small ones that will make it so that 800 is our, you know, maximum limit. Personally, I like to just run with Kevlar, because that makes it so that I actually get a little bit more time to fight against the enemy. The Glock pistol, it starts out with a retarded amount of ammunition, I would say, and it's relatively inaccurate, even though again you got the burst mode up close, which is actually really helpful. So that into perspective, I don't really like to change up my pistol too much. What I prefer to do is to just buy Kevlar and maybe buy a decoy. I don't really want to do that though, because it's a waste. You're wasting money, and technically there are like weapons out there that like with 50 extra points or money, I mean, on top of the reward that those weapon gives you, it could maybe amount up to an extra flashbang, which is good. So just like, either you should be prepared to fake with the decoy and actually use it, or you should just leave it alone. So alright, let's say that you bought Kevlar and you're just going to roll in. From there on, it's very important to remember that the buy decision that you do, you need to do that before the buy time is over. Just be very, very prepared for that. Also, keep in mind that, like, you can see on the top left minimap, you can only spawn within this area, like here, around on the ground, like mainly. Like, you can spawn all the way out here sometimes, like right here. You should think quickly what the fuck is going on. Did you spawn here? Then it might be good to buy a flashbang and a smoke and a P250 maybe. Let's see how much is that in total. Flash 200, smoke 300, that's 500, 6, 7, 800. You can buy a P250, you can buy a smoke grenade, and you can buy a flashbang. That way you can actually just quickly start to run out there, and you can enter with a flashbang above the wall and then just knife rush through, and you can be able to execute something. Again, that also depends on what your team want to do. Or you could just, you know, play by the other spawn here. In some cases, everybody spawn around this area. Then you should, if nobody else is gonna do that, you should instantaneously say, we should go B. We got a great B spawn. And then everybody just prepare themselves. You could do the same with a flashbang, but personally, somebody else, like the first guy should try, like, he should think at least, like, If we have a flashbang, we can blind all the enemies. We can just run in, if obviously if it knows how to do it. So I'm gonna show that in a second. But like, yeah, you should play by spawn. That's like one of the subconscious things that happens when, like, you just learn it after you play the game. One guy can actually also spot the middle, but that's not too common on the lower levels. Anyways, you people do what you want to do in that sense and regard. So, what else is there to mention? Alright, you start off with 800 in the first round. On T side, your objective is to break into one of the enemy sites. In order to do that, you need to be a little bit fearless, you need to go guns blazing in most of the cases, and or you need to execute a strategy and merge those things I just mentioned, because that will allow you to do a lot of great things. Let's see here. For example, you can do a mid-B, let's just jump down here. You can do a mid-B smoke here with all of you people on the eco round. Like, you can technically do it, it's not that easy, and it's a little bit too risky. And also you might overthink things if you do that, if you're playing at a lower level, mainly because the enemy is just not that good, so they can't really, like, maybe they can lock out and defend and kill all people here, while in reality they're actually so terrible over at long here, like they can't actually fight against you. So it's all about perspective and learning how the enemy works out after you do things, but that's like a part of the meta game that I mentioned earlier. Alright, so let's go back here and just do a push, because a lot of silver players, and also I've seen AK players, they are in general not just super good at the game. And here I'm actually quickly gonna mention the sub game of Counter-Strike, which is called surfing. If you know how to surf, and if you are so good at surfing, you know how to strafe in midair, that's actually gonna cut off very valuable milliseconds. That might be what you need in order to shoot your enemy before he shoots you. Let's say with an AWP, or maybe you are like positioning your crosshair perfectly when you come around the corner. You're already aiming at his head, and because you move properly enough and fast enough, you're able to pop him in his face. So after the 10 seconds, you should already have bought everything that you want, okay? Then you need to rush very accurately and fast through the area of attention, rather. There's a couple of them on this map right here. One is on the long here, that's when action happens. I guess we could call the action points. The action points at middle here happens really goddamn fast. Not as fast as on long, though. Also, somebody might rush here on the short, so that's an attention point. Not to mention, the tunnel here becomes that because people can easily just pummel through the doors without any brains, which is also very dangerous and annoying. Here, this is like the last place in which shit happens, because the Ts always get to take the tunnel because of our spawn. Despite if the CTs are many or not, you should have the great advantage around here, mainly because of how the nature of the game works. So, other than that, yeah, those are like the attention places. In order to be able to get an advantage at those spots and be able to use that the best, you need to work the best with your movement, okay? You get better at doing that by playing the game, by the way. So don't stress this too much, but okay, how the fuck do we get to a tunnel and just pop flash ourselves in on the first round as if we are gonna take that site? What you should do is to just line up here and make it so that your shoulder hit right here when you are there. Alright? You want to move in goddamn accurate paths. When you come here, you need to jump, but since I know how to surf, I prefer to like strafe above it. That way the curve is, you know, curving around the wall. I lose a little momentum and I actually keep up my speed. From there on you just, yeah, you need a little bit of momentum there. Even though again you land here. Then you just need to accurately move as straight as possible while jumping, and then when you reach here, you should probably already be preparing a flashbang. Then I strafe a little bit to the left, because if I then move and toss the flashbang, the pop position is going to be really good. As you can see, it flashed right here. You need to practice that a little bit, but if you are able to make it land here every time, that is a good indicator that most of the enemies running in here, they are either in cover or they got flashed hardcore. So if you then just run in and you do the fight, you should probably be good. From there on out, if you want to do the fight better, you just need to learn the sites, you know, where shit is going down, learn where the enemies could be. You'll do that by playing a lot, by the way, if you just remember it. And also getting better at the aim stuff. I already have a couple of videos I could just slap on in the end so you people can click on them to get to know how to play the game better. So other than that, that's just a basic rush. The same concepts go for any position at all, and also you need to be yeah, I'm Norwegian, I fuck up my English. You need to be very on site when it comes down to health and your body, and the fact that if you can get seen by the enemy easily, you are probably in a terrible position. So I'm just gonna mention this as another noob strat helper for very new players, you should always think about cover and playing by cover. I think it's one of the main reasons for why I initially got a rank way above Silver Elite, and I never actually touched the Silver ranks when I got into this game over a year ago. It was because I understood this play of playing by your feel, playing by like your rules. You want a gunfight to go down by your principles, in which you have the advantage. How do you get the advantage? You can play by a head glitch, you can play by cover, and by the way, these barrels right here, nothing penetrate them. Even if your AWP shot like graces it on the very, very edge, it does not go through, so that's kind of a nice thing. But anyways, playing by cover and like bobbing side by side and just trying to get that accurate shot that will land right in his face and dropping him, like, you should think by that. You should just go through the maps, go through all the maps if you're new at the game, and see like where the attention spots are, the points of actions are. Then you should see what the hell you can play with. For example, let's say that we rushed here on the first round and some jackass on the CT side on the first round decided to just be completely batshit insane, and he's like rushing through here, and he's like knife running in here. Here will the point of action be, in which you need to be prepared for that. He's gonna be rushing, so you can hear him, by the way. If not, you should either way go down here slowly if you know that the enemies are doing that kind of stuff. Or if you heard them, or if somebody were spotting middle and he saw him. You know, like, there's so many things that you can do in order to get that information. But anyways, when you are here, you need to you know, like, ease up. Like, if the enemy is gonna rush up, he is gonna be moving, which means that his bullets aren't gonna be as accurate. Not to mention, if you're already standing still, as you can see, your bullets are dead goddamn accurate. So from there on, it all comes down to your actual personal skill and how easily you will be able to beat the enemy, okay? From there on out, you obviously need to take everything careful, and you need to like check certain positions here in which they could be at, and like stuff like that. Like, it could be around here, which is easily wall bangable, by the way. Like, the enemy could be anywhere. So eventually, if you just pay a lot of attention, and if you only play a couple of games, only play a couple, see that you are doing some mistakes, try and grind through what happened. You'll probably be able to troubleshoot yourself, like I just did right there, just super shoddy quickly and stuff like that. You'll probably be able to get up with the pace of the skill levels, and eventually you'll be able to get a lot better at the game. Keep in mind though, that the higher you get at this game, the more set stuff is gonna be. People are gonna have more set strategies, and they know of more set strategies, but people are also gonna be just better in general. They're gonna kill you faster, and you will hopefully be able to kill them faster as well. So just playing the game a lot. Don't just assume if you meet like a DMG player or a supreme ranked guy that he's gonna be a cheater. In most case scenarios, it's just a mistake that you met him, and the fact is that he's just played a game a fuck ton, and he's actually that good. He's actually killing you that fast by human reflexes and the knowledge and stuff like that. So just go in, like, when you go into this game, try and remember everything I just said here for the T side, and try and see for potential loopholes, but also try and play with your teammates, and just understand that this game here is actually so fucking deep. It should blow your mind if you're completely new to FPS games or this shooter in general, because, you know, it's the main reason for why I'm here. I was like, wow, this game is that fucking deep, you know, that's just goddamn impressive. So I'm not sure if I should make like a version 2 of terrorist stuff, just like adding in all the extra rounds, adding in a lot of different strategies that people normally like to use, and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I should like make 2 videos for T side, 2 videos for CT side that are very generic. I've already made one guy that is very generic for people who are at DMG or AA rank to rank up, so that is something I've already done. People can look at that, like you people watching this, you can probably look at that and get a lot of nice tips as well in order to be able to play the game better and stuff like that. Nevertheless, I think I should just go in depth by time. You know what? Enough stalling of time. Hopefully people enjoy this very, very basic tutorial. I'll make a follow-up that is a little bit better in terms of making people better, but in general, just play the game a lot and you will eventually get better. And keep in mind that stopping playing, that's when you actually lose. So as for this YouTube channel, if you didn't know, I got no advertisements, so if you decide to become a Patreon by donating something, that would mean a lot to everybody watching. Also, you can donate skins or whatever the hell you decide to do, that would mean a lot as well. Links in the description, by the way. So yeah, nickname is Yellow, have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play.